Hello scent addicts, welcome to Fragrance Therapy. I'm your host Alam. So a couple of weeks ago I started making a list of the best affordable fall fragrances. At the time I was going to do a mix of like fruity, woody and spicy fragrances as well as some sweet gourmand fragrances. So I realized I had enough amazing options to split the list into two. You can find the link to the first list of fruity yet spicy and woody fragrances in the description. Those are awesome choices for the early fall as the weather transitions. This one will focus more on fragrances that are a sweeter scent profile that really only work in the heart of the fall when the weather gets cold. So let's jump in. So I'm going to start off with an honorable mention, and that's Kadlaj's Cafe Latte. Now this is a clone of Amor Cafe from Mancera, and this is like a sweet, creamy vanilla and coffee fragrance. Now that slight bitterness of coffee helps somewhat to like cut down on all the sweet notes that are in here. But at the end of the day, this is still a super duper sweet gourmand scent. And while it smells amazing, I think it goes a little past unisex and leans a bit too much on the femme in my opinion. I would say that this is even more feminine than the original Mancera. It plays up that creamy vanilla note much more than the coffee, whereas the original leans a little bit more into that coffee. And for that reason, I just don't see myself wearing this one very often. Maybe if I layer with something a little bit deeper and darker, I think it could still work. It's killer for the ladies. My wife loves this. I have decanted this for her. Another great option is also Lattafa's Camra or Camra Kahwa. Awesome fragrances for the fall. Just they get recommended to death, so I thought I would give you some other options instead. But if you did want to do a deep dive into the Camra fragrances, all three of them, I do have a video that I go through all of them and it's in the description below as well. So my first choice in the list proper is Lattafa's Bade El Oud Honor and Glory. Now this is not really a clone of anything. It's a pretty original scent, and let me tell you, Lattafa killed it with this one. If I were making a top 10 all-time Lattafa list, which I think I'm going to eventually do, this unique blend would be in there for sure. It's a blend of these woody and sweet fruity gourmands. This has the sweet, fresh, fruity pineapple mixed with the standout note in here, which is creme brulee. Now, creme brulee is this rich vanilla cream with a layer of burnt sugar, and this fragrance masterfully replicates that. You also get some dense notes. As it dries, you get more florals and woods. Performance is also monster on this one. 10 plus hours on skin, for days on clothes. Super strong projection. You can easily fill a room with this and leave a significant scent trail. So just be careful with the sprays. I mean, this is a complex blend of sweet, tropical, dense, spicy, and woody notes, and it is like nothing else out there. Honestly, I was going to keep this one off the list because it is a little bit older at this point, but without it, the list just felt like incomplete. This has been a staple for me. It was last fall, and it's going to be this fall as well. So couldn't keep it off the list. That's Bade El Oud. It's an amazing option. Next up, we have Rasasi's Hawas Elixir. You can't even see it because the bottle's so reflective. This is a clone of JPG's Le Male Elixir, but it has a twist. Now, there are a bunch of Le Male Elixir clones out there. Some of them even get closer to the original DNA, like Club de Nuit Lionheart. But honestly, I prefer this one. This still captures the sweetness from the OG, but it scales it back a bit, and then it amps up this minty freshness. And honestly, I think that change, it's subtle, but that change makes it more wearable and less cloying. This one opens surprisingly fresh with mint, bergamot, and green. And this by no means that the freshness in here is like a summertime fragrance, but it definitely pops more than the OG. This also replaces like that super sticky sweetness of honey with this bitter sweetness of dark chocolate. It does get very similar to the OG as it dries down, which is great. I do love the dry down of the original as well. Also, another strong performer. You're going to get about 8 to 9 hours longevity on skin, strong projection for that couple of hours. And honestly, I'm not sure if Rasasi was trying to make a twist on the OG or if they just kind of stumbled upon it, but at the end, I think it's an improvement on the original. Next up, we have Rayhan's Crimson, and this is a clone of Creed's Centaurus. Now, this is a cinnamon bomb, but it's not like a regular cinnamon spice. It's more like a candied cinnamon. It's going to remind you of cinnamon candies, like hot tamales or red hots, if you know what those are. There are people out there that cannot take too much of this scent profile. It gives them a headache. In fact, I think in my own family, my mom does not like too much of that candied cinnamon scent. This one has a bunch of other spices as well. Along with that cinnamon, you're going to get cardamom and pink pepper, but it's also balanced nicely with creamy sweetness with vanilla, tonka bean, and benzoin, which is also like a vanilla-y resin. Longevity, also another good one with 8 hours. Strong projection for the first couple of hours. This is not blind buy safe, especially if you find like cinnamon a challenging scent, because this is cinnamon dominant, but this is not a run-of-the-mill scent. This is something that's attention grabbing as well as different. So yeah, it's a good option for the fall. Next up, we have Arabiyat Prestige's Fondue Lava Lush. Now this is a original scent as far as I know. There's some suggestion online that this is a clone of Maitre Premier's Vanilla Powder. It might be. I've never gotten my nose on the original, so I can't tell you. When I did first impressions of this, I did get a bit of Bianco Latte, and while it does share some of that creamy milkiness of the original, and it does belong to that milky creamy gourmand, it does something unique. And that uniqueness, I don't know if any other fragrance does this, but it takes that creamy milky aspect and it mixes it with marine notes. It gives this a surprising bright and fresh opening, and it just works. As it dries, it does get much closer to something like Bianco Latte. You get these caramelized sugar, coconut, vanilla, and dry amber. Performance is also not a beast with this one. This is a bit more subtle, sweet gourmand fragrance. You get 6, max 7 hours on skin. So this may be a candidate for a few extra sprays. Projection is also, I would say, moderate. Some might say this leans a little bit femme. I can see why. Some people feel that any fragrance with milky accords automatically means feminine. I think it's completely unisex, but I understand it's not for everybody. Maybe for men looking for something different and willing to be a little bit daring. So if you want to stand out and not smell like anyone else, this is the one for you. For ladies, it's a no-brainer. Next up, we have Game of Spades Royale by Joe Milano. And this is a clone of Bond No. 9's Tribeca, and it's a darn good one too. While there is a slight quality difference, as far as in the air, I'm talking about 90% close. This is a warm, sweet, woody, and seductive fragrance, and it's completely unisex as well. In here, you get sweetness from hazelnut, caramel, and cacao, but the cacao is not overpowering here. I actually can't stand it when cacao or chocolate notes are too strong in the fragrances. For example, in Lattafa's Nebras. Like, I don't want to walk around smelling like a straight up chocolate bar or like a double chocolate brownie. No hate for those who like that scent profile, it's just not for me. Here though, the cacao is blended beautifully with florals, jasmine, and woody notes like cedar and moss. And longevity wise, this fragrance outlasts the original. You get a max of 7 hours on the OG. This one you easily get 8 hours on skin. While not super strong, you will get solid projection for that first hour or so. Honestly, Tribeca with slightly lesser quality ingredients but better performance at a fraction of the price, no brainer for me. Also, really good choice for the ladies. Next up, we have Lattafa's Assad Bourbon. Now, there's some debate online as to what it's cloning. Some people say it's Azzaro's Most Wanted Parfum. Some people say it's Valentina's Born in Roma Intense. And some people say it's like a Stronger With You Intensely. Honestly, I don't get much Stronger With You. I think this is a mashup actually between these two. It's a majority Azzaro's Most Wanted, but it does have a bit of Valentina's Born in Roma Intense, but it also does a little bit of its own thing. And these two are some of my favorite designer fragrances of all time, and they do share a similar scent profile, so it's no wonder people are confused as to which one this gets closer to. This one is this rich, warm, and sweet fragrance, but you also get lavender, marabelle plum, and pink pepper. You also get cacao on this one, but again, once again, it is not too overpowering, and you also get some spices with nutmeg. I really dig marabelle plum notes in fragrances. It gives this like unique sweetness that's not like in-your-face tart, like some juicy fruits. Now you also get sweetness from vanilla and amber. Now there's a misconception that the bourbon in here is referring to like the booze bourbon. This is actually referring to bourbon vanilla. And man, the vanilla in here is so smooth and it is a prominent note. And this one compared to the rest on the list is an average performer. I'm talking about 6 to 7 hours on skin max, longer on clothes, decent projection for the first hour, another candidate for overspraying a little bit. What this lacks in performance, it makes up in scent profile. This one is a mass appealing, addictive fragrance, as close to blind buy safe as you can get, and it is at least in line with the originals when it comes to performance. Next up, we have a modern classic with French Avenue's Liquid Brun. Now this is a well-known clone of Parfum de Marly's Altair. Now there's a ton of high quality clones of Altair, but if you're looking for the one that delivers on all fronts, closeness, quality, performance, Liquid Brun is still king. This is an ultimate fall gourmand fragrance. It's the first one that came to mind when I started this list. You get cinnamon, orange blossom, and bergamot. Like the Assad, this one also uses bourbon vanilla along with elemi and pralines for sweetness, but you also get this musk and gaiac wood that's used to help balance the fragrance out. Now, performance, while not beast mode, is still pretty solid longevity-wise. You're gonna get a solid 8-ish hours on skin. Projection is good for the first hour, then it does transition to more moderate skin scent. Now, are there longer lasting clones of Altair? Yes. Are there ones that offer like a unique twist on the DNA? Also yes, but when it comes to getting the closest, this is still the best one. There's a reason that this still has hype in 2025. I think it's going to be a fall staple for years to come. Next up, we have Zimaya's Mizaj. Now this is widely considered a clone of Nishane's Taro. I have never had the opportunity to get my nose on that one, so I can't tell you how close it gets. What I can say is that this is a underrated fall gem. Now I know Mizaj Infused gets all the hype, and for good reason. This is a really good clone for LV's imagination, and also is relatively cheap compared to some of the other clones out there. But this one also deserves a look. This is a spicy, fresh take on gourmand. And tell me something, have you ever heard of something that includes Szechuan peppers, black peppers, cinnamon, and it not be a food recipe? Well, that's the case with this one. But don't let it scare you. This is still a very appealing, unique fragrance. And when you add sweetness with caramel and amber and earthy woody notes, you get this unique, seductive, and very complex scent profile. This is another one where longevity is moderate. You get about 6 at the most 7 hours. Projection is also moderate on this one. This is not a loud in-your-face fragrance. It's more low-key, perfect for like formal events, dressed up, suit and tie. If you want to be unique and you want to stand apart, this is a good one. I think Zimaya, which is a sub-brand of Afton, doesn't get enough love out there. They have some really good affordable fragrances. They have Mizaj Infused, Sharaf Blend, also incredible. They have one called Gaiath, which is another incredible option as well. And you can find this one for around like 20 bucks. Next up, we have French Avenue's Fierté. Now this is a YSL Baby Cat clone. Now Baby Cat as a fragrance has gotten some backlash recently online. I'm telling you, it's not because of the scent profile, it's because of the price. Baby Cat goes for like $330, and it is way too expensive for that. But for $40-ish, this thing blows that out of the water when it comes to value. And despite what the name of the OG is suggesting with Baby Cat, this is a very masculine, dark, deep, yet sweet fragrance. And that dark nature comes in the form of like incense, tobacco, woods, and spices. Those darker notes are expertly balanced with sweet accords. You get this creamy vanilla, tonka, and 2 kinds of sweet resins, elemi and benzoin. And it makes for a very sophisticated yet elegant scent profile. When I first got this one late last year, I barely got 6 hours. 8 months later, different story. I'm getting over 8 hours on this. Maturation definitely had a major impact on this one. I think just common practice, if you feel like your fragrance is not hitting on all cylinders when you first get it, I know it's hard sometimes, but let it sit for a little bit and revisit it. It will almost always improve when it comes to these clone fragrances. There's another really good option from this line. It's Fierté Luna. This one is an excellent Xerjoff Naxos clone. I just featured it in my best new releases from French Avenue video. That's why I didn't include it in this video. If you want to learn more about it, the link for the video is in the description. Last but certainly not least is Lattafa's Art of Arabia 3. Now this is a clone of Clive Christian's Blonde Amber. And let me tell you, Clive Christian is a niche fragrance house that makes these unique, amazing, high quality fragrances. They have a ton of amazing fragrances, but Blonde Amber is one of their best and it gets a lot of hype online. The issue is that thing costs freaking $500 at retail for a 50 ml. And until Lattafa released this bad boy, that scent felt out of reach. Now, for me personally, I just cannot see myself paying 500 bucks for a fragrance. There is a quality difference in here, yes. Is this an exact clone? No. But at the same time, does it get really close? Yes, I would say about 85% close. And the question is, does that price difference make up for that quality difference? 1000% yes. Now the ambery sweetness comes in the form of 3 different types of resins. You get olibanum, which is also known as frankincense, you get myrrh, and labdanum. All 3 resins offer their own character. Myrrh is more like warm balsamic and sweet and spicy with aromatic notes. Frankincense is more like balsamic, but it also has these green and woody and fruity notes. Labdanum is unique as well. It gives this strong leathery and ambery note. But you're also getting fruits with this, with bergamot and dates, creamy, sweet date. You also get woods, you get florals, and smooth vanilla and tonka. All that stuff combines to make an amazingly beautiful scent. It's like art in a bottle. And this one also, you get very, very solid performance. You get 8 hours on skin with strong projection for that first hour. Now, fragrances, when they get really popular, the contrarians love to come out. And they love to go against the grain and start bashing this. I've seen people say that this scent profile is one of the worst fragrances out there. Blonde, Amber, and by proxy, its clones are receiving that treatment as we speak. I've seen tons of creators online say stuff like that. But trust me, do not listen to them. This is amazing. To me, this is the ultimate sweet but sophisticated fragrance for the colder days in fall. This smells niche at $35. Incredible value. There you have it, folks. That's 10 amazing, sweet gourmand fragrances for you to rock, especially in the colder days of fall into winter. All of them are 10 out of 10 in my opinion, and they're all super affordable. I think the most expensive one is the Joe Milano Game of Spades. That line tends to be a little bit more expensive, but it is an extrait de parfum, so it will last forever. But let me know in the comments if you have any of these, if you rock them, what you think of them, which is your favorite. And please hit that like and subscribe button, especially if you enjoyed this video. I'm trying to grow my channel and every subscriber counts. And stay tuned for more affordable fragrance content. Until next time, I'm out.